they're on the hook for that.
But they're still allowed to do that without.
We do that.
See, it's my understanding that all personnel, I mean, we approve, say for instance, a principal comes, he needs a new principal, or he needs a new superintendent, assistant superintendent, or any, they come to the board for approval, and that person approved. But as far as the management of all those individuals, that is a superintendent's job.
Totally.
If he wants to move him around, he wants to put him here, he decides, that person wasn't performing very well, I'll put him here, or anything else, that's his preview.
So what would a smart superintendent do before he does that?
Probably inform.
You'd say,
Let us know.
I'm thinking heads up in a retreat or something. I'm thinking about maybe, I want to improve the efficiency of the organization, and I found that this reporting structure, we're changing some processes and reflect the changes in the processes and some new responsibilities. We're changing some structure as a result of that. Heads up. And then you could give your feedback. Well, I'm not so sure about that. For instance, I said to my superintendent, we got rid of the deputy position. We're a huge district, and we had a new superintendent and a lot of new people. And I'm like, Richard, I really think if you wanted to add a deputy back to help, manage all of this, have you thought about that? I'm not telling him to do it. I'm just saying, have you thought about that? and he gives me feedback. Yeah, I thought about it, but I don't want to do that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what you need.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what you need.
And sometimes those decisions are made, they have to make them rapidly, and then afterwards they'll inform. I would hope they inform the district when they have to make decisions.
We haven't. The only time we've had a rapid thing happen was when there was maybe something. The way that we would do it, in my experience, let's say somebody does something really bad, an employee that's requires investigation, so they need to be put on leave. Boom, that happens right away. And he's within his rights to make that leave happen, and then he'll let us know that happened, and that there's an investigation or something like that. But you don't want to be involved in any of the management decisions of personnel, because there could be a grievance. And that grievance has to be able to come before you. And if you are involved in that in any way, you have to abstain from that.
Right.
Okay.
And it should be a superintendent-only discussion, not a board with the board president discussion, right? With the change in personnel before that decision's made.
So are you talking about I'm talking about a malfeasance situation where there was
if somebody's going to be demoted.
It's a superintendent decision, and it would be a good idea to make a phone call to every person to say something.
Stuff's coming up.
Stuff's coming up, but there are always, like in anything, extenuating circumstances. So if all else were equal, that might be how you handle that, but recognizing sometimes there are extenuating circumstances, and you go, okay, I recognize that. Next time, this is what we expect, the kind of communication.